Today we will learn about the hot desert region of Saudi Arabia. Any region devoid of water and vegetation is referred to as a desert. There are two types of deserts found in the world, named as cold deserts and the hot deserts. The hot deserts are found near the tropics, while the cold deserts lie between the poles and the circles. Today, we are going to discuss about hot deserts. Both the types of deserts have extreme conditions and are devoid of moisture. In the northern hemisphere, deserts are located near the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. In the southern hemisphere, the deserts lie near the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. All these deserts are in the western part of the continents. The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert in the world. It lies in northern Africa. It covers almost 1/3 area of the continent and lies on either side of the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. In Asia, we have two hot deserts, the Arabian Desert and the Thar Desert. Today, we shall read about the country of Saudi Arabia, which is a part of the Arabian Desert. This country lies in the Arabian Peninsula and occupies most part of it.
Do you know?
The Arabian Peninsula, which is located in Saudi Arabia, is the largest peninsula in the world. You will see that the Arabian Desert is located in Saudi Arabia, which is a country situated in the southwest of Asia. Riyadh is its capital. Saudi Arabia lies in the northern hemisphere and is surrounded by Kuwait, Iraq, and Jordan in the north, Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, and the Persian Gulf in the east, the Arabian Sea, Oman, and Yemen in the south, and the Red Sea in the west.
Amazing fact.
In ancient times, the neighboring country of Saudi Arabia, Iraq, was known as Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia was one of the oldest civilizations of the world. Most parts of Saudi Arabia are a rocky plateau covered by a vast desert. It rises steeply in the west, close to the Red Sea, and slopes gently in the northeast. The hills of sand, called sand dunes, can be seen in the desert. These are formed due to erosion and deposition by strong winds. There is hardly any rain in this region. The days in summer are extremely hot, but the nights are relatively cool. During the winter season, the days are warm and nights are cold. Dust storms are common throughout the year. The range of temperature, that is, the difference between the maximum and minimum temperature, is very high here. For example, the maximum temperature is 52 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature is 5 degrees Celsius. Range of temperature is equal to maximum minus minimum equal to 52 degrees Celsius minus 5 degrees Celsius is equal to 47 degrees Celsius. Plants need water. As this region is dry, there are no trees. Only those plants are found here much of moisture. The leaves too are narrow to prevent excessive loss of water through evaporation. And the plants like the cactus have spongy leaves to store water for long. These include the cactus, palms, and thorny bush. In some areas, the underground water comes to the surface, leading to the growth of vegetation in the surrounding area. This is called an oasis. The oasis is the only place which is green, fertile, and has plenty of water. Permanent settlements are found near the oasis, and caravans sometimes take shelter here. This area is the only cultivable area where crops like date palm, rice, vegetables, wheat, and barley can be grown. The rats and lizards live in burrows which protect them from the heat of the desert. The scorpions and wolf spiders too have a thick outer covering so that they can survive the extreme conditions. Lizards, snakes, and insects are quite common in the desert.
The camel is the most common and useful animal of this region. Its long legs and padded feet help it to walk and travel long distances in the sand. Camels can live without water and food for many days. That is why the camel is known as the ship of the desert.
There are two types of people. One who live in towns and cities, and others who live in villages. People in towns work as businessmen, traders, officials, and workers in factories. They enjoy all the modern facilities and are connected with the rest of the world through trade. Saudi Arabia has developed its industries, the important ones being petroleum refineries, petrochemicals, fertilizers, cement, and the iron and steel industries. The people in villages still lead a traditional life. They do not live permanently at one place. They keep flocks of camel, sheep, and goat. They move from one place to another along with their animals in search of pastures for them. In the desert area, there are people who do not have a permanent house and move from place to place with their belongings. They are called nomads. The Bedouins are the most important and notable among all the nomads in the Arabian desert. Bedouins keep camels whose milk they drink. They use the skin and hair of the camel for clothes and shoes. They move or travel on camels, forming long rows called caravans. The Bedouins have to work hard for their livelihood and often exchange animals and goods for food and water. The Bedouins' way of life has changed. Now they have started living a permanent life and are in touch with the modern world. Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest producers of petroleum in the world. Petroleum has changed the life of the people in Saudi Arabia. Almost its entire income comes from the export of crude oil. Most of the developed countries buy petroleum from Saudi Arabia.
Do you know?
OPEC is an organization of oil producing and exporting cotton robes called thawb. They protect their head from the sun and dust by a head covering called khudra. Women wear long robes called abaya and cover their faces with a veil. Saudi Arabia is a monarchy, which means that the king is the head of the country. Cities can be classified into two categories: old and religious cities, new and modern cities. Mecca is the main center of pilgrimage for the Muslims. It is the desire of every Muslim to visit this holy city once in his lifetime. It is associated with the founder of Islam, Prophet Muhammad. Medina is another religious center for pilgrimage. The new cities have all the modern facilities such as a good transport system, educational institutions, modern buildings, and hospitals. Among the new and modern cities, Riyadh and Jeddah are worth mentioning. Jeddah is a port on the western coast along the Red Sea. It is one of the busiest ports of this region. Riyadh is the capital and a modern city with skyscrapers, parks, markets, hospitals, and schools. The efforts made by the Saudi Arabian government have resulted in the barren desert areas in Saudi Arabia becoming prosperous. The camel is the most important means of transport in the desert area. In the cities, modern means of transport like cars, buses, scooters are used. These cities are also connected by air to the other parts of the world. There are limited railways and roads due to the presence of sand and lack of habitation.
Let us summarize.
Hot deserts are located near 23.5 north and 23.5 south latitudes, and cold deserts are found between the poles and the circles. Saudi Arabia is located in the southwest of Asia. It has a hot and dry climate. Dust storms and sand dunes are common here. The discovery of petroleum has changed the lifestyle of the people of Saudi Arabia. Life in the villages of Saudi Arabia is very traditional. Mecca and Medina in Saudi Arabia are the religious centers of the Muslims. Cities like Riyadh and Jeddah enjoy all modern facilities.